Hi there. Welcome to the Lonesome Road episode 2. Our unofficial motto being, we know consistency is important and it's the one thing we can never provide for you. However, we're back again, and I, Lucy, am joined by Seth and the nomadic Zach, who God knows where he is. He could be anywhere right now. He's in an undisclosed location, I think.
I think he's in an Airstream trailer.
He doesn't have to tell us. It can be his secret.
I'm just always going to say I'm in the woods.
Oh, that's a suspicious and non-specific place to be, so that's good. Well, I was going to say boys. Gentlemen, boys. That just sounds like a PG Woodhouse thing. Ladies and gentlemen and boys, we were going to talk about aliens tonight, weren't we? And I've had a lot of caffeine, but clearly not enough. And so, aliens, there's a lot to cover there. There's a lot to discuss with aliens. Not to impugn Bigfoot, who was our topic last time, but aliens are kind of a big deal. I've been studying up, but I feel like I'm just getting started on the topic. I guess it was Seth who suggested our newsy inroad was the fact that Donald Trump had instituted a horrible new phone line where you're supposed to call about aliens, Homeland Security sort of phone line, call in and report aliens who have committed crimes. And delightfully, and props to you, America, apparently this phone line was flooded with reports of flying saucers, abductions, UFOs, ALF sightings, and all sorts of other things. At least over the initial first couple of days that this phone line was out. And that is very encouraging, I think.
I'm encouraged because they took the high road talking about aliens. I would have just called and complained about my neighbor posts who's dancing at all hours of the day and night. How this keeps me from making America great again.
Well, someone's got to do it. You know, there's one person who's getting in the way of making America great again. It's actually you. Sorry.
This Larry character, he says, is his cousin. I don't buy it. I don't buy that for a second.
Well, talking about aliens is good. Well, what were you saying, Zach?
Oh, I was going to say, I really appreciate that form of like obstructionist protest where it's, you know, basically it's just flooding the lines and keeping a bunch of people busy who would otherwise be, you know, working on deporting immigrants. So yeah, props to America.
Yeah,
I wish I had
wasting government officials' time is a great thing that we should all be doing a lot more in life. I think that's awesome.
It is.
And I think another important thing with that is like if you're going to do these things that like obstruct the government from doing things you don't want them to do, like these protests, is like if you can make it fun and make it funny, then it's not meaning is just like calling them up and reading the phone book or whatever, and you know that feeling that you're sort of like in a prank or whatever probably keeps you from getting a lot more worn down. Helping you sort of maintain momentum to keep doing this every week, to just keep calling this number every week to complain about, you know, furry aliens from Melmac that are after your cat.
Yeah, I mean, I heard people even in the first couple of days worry that this is going to be like one big spike of delightful principled trolling and then people were going to forget about it. And I haven't heard whether people have kept doing it, and they should. And I should be doing my part for America and reporting that Whitley Strieber and his friends came over to abduct me, and I'm scared. Please help me.
ICE was dumb enough to tell everyone, look, we think that it's only going to last for 2 weeks, and if we can just hold out for 2 weeks, it'll die down and we can get down to business. So I was waiting for week 3 to start. Like,
God, maybe
don't worry.
Call right now.
We'll just do this as shift work. Let's just break this up into shifts.
I mean, they could also open up a separate line that's actually for reporting space aliens and send people there. But again, you know, probably accomplish the same thing.
Didn't the government actually have one back in the like Project Blue Book days? Didn't they actually have like a line you could call to report that?
I hope they had a specific line. I don't know if that's true or not. Obviously they report, they followed up on reports, but a specific phone line is delightful.
Back then, it was like you could just like call the local Air Force base and be like, "Hey, Mac, I saw a flying saucer over the diner."
And they're like, "Oh, we see it. Yeah. We're dealing with it right now."
It's just. But listen, we scrambled jets to escort it out of U.S. airspace, but it's definitely just swamp gas.
I'm not even totally sure what swamp gas is, but I'm sure that's what everything suspicious is.
Yeah,
alien, like, I don't know, guys. Should I call?
Well, I think
so. Do an on-air call.
I'm pretty sure, like MUFON probably has. I know there's at least one organization that does have a UFO hotline. You call and they take down the information because the guy who does it is on Coast to Coast quite a bit, and he's just like the most like old guy. He's like, he seems like the same sort of guy that's like really into model trains or like having like a snappy little sports car, like classic car.
Model trains are fun though. It's another fun thing that you hate, just like Cupid dolls in America. You hate everything. Full of joy. What is wrong with you?
Trains, because they're just little versions of big trains, which I'm very excited about.
Oh, are you very excited about them? Good. They're not fiscally sensible, but they're a lot of fun. All right, guys, I'm gonna call and report an alien. Hold on. Let's see what they say.
Is it on speaker?
Oh, it really should be, shouldn't it? This is gonna be really underwhelming, isn't it?
Paul Joseph Watson or whatever the like.
This service is to provide all available and releasable information for victims and their families who have been impacted by a crime committed by an alien who may be subject to removal.
Ah, crime committed by an alien.
To report a crime.
This is not a line to report a crime.
Local law enforcement agency, or the
but how do I tell them about the aliens?
1-866.
They won't. The aliens could be coming closer. I could see the lights in the sky.
Yeah, there's no sense of urgency here.
All right.
Remember The Simpsons? To report a regicide, push 2.
They have business hours? I'm about to get fucking abducted by a UFO here, and they have business hours.
Ooh.
That shit's...
I know one job. I know one job immigrants aren't taking, and it's night shift voice operator.
Oh, that's very disappointing. All right, well, now that I can't
believe they say alien on there.
I really wanted to
find out. Calling to report space aliens. Is that a possibility?
Alien. I mean, it does not say illegal alien or alien person. It says an alien. So, on a technicality, none of these people were in the wrong. Accurate.
Paul Joseph Watson or whatever the little like Coldplay looking guy from InfoWars. It should be a crime to call up and report space aliens to that line because nothing says I support freedom like making everything that makes you mad a crime.
Wait. Did he actually say that?
Tweeted it.
Because this is like another one of those. But this is like another one of those moments where I have to say that I expected more of him, which is not true per se. Much like I don't really expect anything from Alex Jones, but I was still disappointed when Alex Jones became a shill for Trump and therefore a shill for the man, and became actually trusting of Trump. It was such a bummer. And like Paul Joseph Watson has like a tinfoil hat, and like just. That's disappointing that he would actually think that.
Yeah, you want them to go all the way with it.
Yeah.
Well, Alex Jones there's like a 2-week period where Alex Jones is like kind of like calm and he's not like going crazy and he's just like Trump's the president. And, it's like let's all follow lines behind the leader.
We're losing you. At least I am.
I think I am too.
Alex Jones got kind of boring right after the election, a week or two, because it was just okay, and then then all that stuff went right back to crazy town.
Well, I mean,
think either InfoWars or aliens are trying to infiltrate our.
Yeah, I got the gist of that, which was that Alex Jones got really boring after the election. But Seth, if we want, we want to be able to hear your beautiful words of wisdom about Alex Jones. So you must be careful with your technical skills.
Yeah.
I mean, the only Alex Jones that I truly like is the one that rants about Justin Bieber in what is basically like slam poetry or like some sort of performance. Justin Bieber, and he calls him Justin Bieber and talks about how kids should admire Magellan instead of Justin Bieber, and it's just like amazing. And I also enjoy him in John Ronson's documentary and book and stuff. I'm still so mad I couldn't find Alex Jones at the RNC. I looked for him. I looked all over. Does Alex Jones? That's a good point. Right? Does Alex Jones believe in aliens? Because
he doesn't. He's very consistent on that.
Really?
He says everything he's ever read, everything he's ever seen, that the aliens are all disinformation. A lot of that stuff is just like secret Illuminati technology. He's really, really adamant.
Oh, that's kind of a bummer that he's totally dismissive of it. I mean,
yeah.
I guess he thought they're just regular evil people, like in Bohemian Grove, sacrificing babies to Moloch and stuff. But like, there's nothing.
Which is weird because I mean, he believes there's like evil spirits and Satan is trying to plug everybody into some weird transhumanist control. Like it's like when he's explaining it on the Joe Rogan show, he's just like completely blitzed. So it's really like.
So wait, he's afraid of transhumanism? Like David Icke's also terrified of transhumanism too. That's totally a thing.
But you believe in transhumanism and evil spirits? Like why? I mean, just aren't evil spirits, like totally beyond this reality that we don't quite understand.
Which is totally what aliens could be. I mean, I'm not saying that's Occam's razor is leading us towards that, but I was just reading about, I'm blanking on his name, the dude who decided that aliens are probably from another dimension. That's like the best explanation. And that therefore he like alienates, so to speak, UFOologists and skeptics and basically everyone by saying that, there are aliens, but they're from another dimension, not another planet. And
I think that's Jacques Vallée who
that's probably who I'm thinking of, yeah.
It was also like a kind of like put ufology to be a venture capitalist.
Which is fun too, but not as fun as you would like. UFOs, God, there's so much stuff. I've been reading a book that's like a kind of a basic study of UFOs and aliens in culture. And appropriately enough, because I plan to talk about aliens on later podcasts as well, but it's divided up into, there's the cultural, fictional, sort of early reports, Roswell, Betty and Barney Hill type things. And the section I haven't gotten to yet is more about like SETI and more like what's out there. Let's send radio waves, and even if that's a bad idea, which. Oh man, the first time that I heard someone as credible as Stephen Hawking say, maybe it's a bad idea to alert aliens to our presence, I got like a certified chill. I was like, oh no, I never thought of that.
Yeah,
just that it's like not safe to do that.
It's like maybe they're not nice.
It's like that sort of cosmic horror angle, like that's the last thing you want to do is draw their attention. Like you don't want them to notice you at all.
Yeah, there's so many like poetic, but also I suppose, I mean, they could be scientific, quite literal if there were aliens out there and they had their ears out in the universe. I mean, I don't know. Just because Stephen Hawking said it doesn't make it true, but I still was like, damn, I never thought of that. Like,
but when it's him and not like, not David Icke or Alex Jones,
right?
Tend to take it a little more seriously.
A bit more seriously, yeah. And it also sort of smacks of like, I just finished watching Star Trek Enterprise, which was pretty panned, I think, by a lot of people, and had the worst theme song in human history. But I actually kind of enjoyed it.
It was bad.
But you know, the whole origin of that is like the basically the Vulcans are keeping us humans in our place for like a century and kind of leaving the training wheels on so we don't travel too far, boldly go where no man has gone before, sort of thing. So I don't know. We're not ready for aliens. I'm not ready for aliens at all. So maybe Hawking is right.
I don't know if I'm ready, but it depends on the aliens, right? Depends on.
Well, here's a question for the class. How scared would you be if you saw like an ambiguous UFO? B, if there was like an actual landing on the White House lawn type situation? Like, I mean, how catatonic in my case would you be?
If I saw an alien UFO land on the White House lawn, I would just be like apoplectic. I would be so mad. Like, you, last place. Like, do you know who lived there? Like Oprah or someone, you know, anybody, whoever is in the White House.
Don't go in there. No, I'm just like trying to protect the alien.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I would think if they landed, that would be a good sign, as opposed to just, you know, coming out blasting and that sort of thing. And
right.
You know,
I
tend to hope. Yeah, I tend to hope that more evolved species, I guess, would you know, maybe wouldn't be so keen to dominate or to use their technological advantage against us. But
assuming they have one, which is a fair assumption.
That's the thing I never.
Yeah. If they get here, I guess, you know, it's.
The thing I never quite. The Stephen Hawking thing, I never quite like grasped was the whole. Pretty much the only reason they could want to come here is just to be jerks, and I never. Like, you can travel the universe. Yeah. Why across the universe to be.
I don't think that any kind of motivation, especially a comprehensible one, is self-evident. I think that any number of motivations could be possible. Probably like totally incomprehensible ones, or totally nightmarish ones, or maybe totally like, I've come to warn humans about their warlike ways, and you know, you're like anything.
Right,
I mean, they could come here for any reason.
There's a YouTube video of that alien, supposed footage of the alien that's from, like, I think he's like from a different dimension, talking about how the world was destroyed by war and all this stuff. But
that's a bummer.
The one where like the alien talks like some bro who's watched Zeitgeist a lot. And he's like, listen, man.
yeah, it's one.
Just as reasonable as what the hell's name is in The Day the Earth Stood Still. Him and his big old robot.
Oh, Klaatu?
Yeah.
Klaatu and Gort?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I don't know. This is a heavy-handed alien, you guys. I like your giant robot, bro, but the rest of this, I'm not sure.
I really like
the whole time.
Kid, my mom.
Yeah, right. Like,
really like watch because I love that movie when I was a kid. I watched a lot. My mom was always really like, this is just a Jesus allegory. Okay, this is just like a story. Okay, like don't read any further into it than that.
is that or E.T. the more Jesus-y alien story? That's another question. I mean, we all know Jesus came down with a humongous war robot to keep us in line if we didn't follow his teachings. Yeah, that would be pretty cool, let's be honest. But also of great concern.
It would be a more efficient way of getting people's attention, probably.
Giant robots, you know? Ever since I finally understand the appeal of giant robots thanks to playing Fallout 3, where, spoiler alert, you get a giant robot at the end, and it's great. But
that's sweet.
That's not the important. That's not the important thing. There's too much with aliens. I mean, I don't know if I should quiz you guys. Like, you guys have spent so much time in the Southwest, which I associate so highly with alien country. Many years ago, my friend and I listened to the War of the Worlds 1938 broadcast while driving through the desert somewhere, probably New Mexico. And that was very atmospheric and nice. Have you ever seen, or do you know anyone who claims to have seen any suspicious lights in the skies? I think is a good thing to cover.
Suspicious lights before, but they're always really easy to sort of in the back of your head say, well, that's a reflection, that's a trick of the light, or on my military bases, and it's probably just somebody's screwing up, and they're gonna just, oh no, that was completely routine refueling or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen like weird lights from like far away, and I think like seeing weird lights, especially when they're further away, is always makes you want to believe it's a UFO rather than thinking like it's like a, you know, like a private plane or a helicopter or something that's flying a little bit more, you know, because I guess when you think about planes, it's you always think of them going, they're always really easy to spot, and you always see them kind of going in a line, you know, because they're going to the airport or whatever. But whenever you see like a light moving kind of like in a pattern that's a little bit off from that.
I have seen the Marfa lights.
I've seen a few of those. Oh, how's that?
Yeah, that's the only other thing I can think of. Those are weird. Those you have to see. They're I don't think they're UFOs or aliens. That's just something really bizarre. Oh, hey.
Sorry, go on. Gotta be careful. Never say from here.
They do sort of beggar your to explain rationally what you're saying. Through UFOs is some weird. I don't think it's supernatural. I just think it's some weird, we don't understand.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Do you think that even that is a bit of a leap for skeptics? I have a friend who, if we talk about this later in podcast life, maybe he should come on as well, because he's a bona fide skeptic who's been reading about UFOs for a couple of years now, trying to find the most credible sounding things. And I'm not going to put words in his mouth, and I'm not totally sure what he thinks, but he kind of thinks there's something weird going on. Not, he's like, compared to a believer, he's very skeptical, but like the true sightings of something in the sky that no one has explained, that a bunch of people have seen, that there doesn't seem to be a good explanation for. He basically thinks something is happening, which is very unsatisfying, but I certainly find that, not Stephen Hawking credible, but something to consider.
That I don't think it's aliens. I don't think it's these are creatures that came on a spaceship across the universe. That just sounds like incredibly prosaic. I think there's something, and I think it's probably, I lean more towards like it's a physical phenomenon we don't understand. It's facet of another dimension or another segment of reality that we probably don't have the right sensory to fully comprehend. Like we just with our five senses have the tools to understand it exactly or measure it, understand it.
Is that any less weird than aliens?
I think aliens is way too easy and pat of an answer. I think that's
okay. Okay.
I think that's the thing. We need alien technology to figure out these things. We need aliens to come here and help us lend us their technology. Hated that. Like,
how could humans possibly evolve without aliens? Well, how the fuck did the aliens evolve? Like, is this just like aliens all the way down? Is that what we're doing? I mean, if that's what we're doing, okay.
We got it from other aliens.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, it's aliens all the way down, if that's where we're going. I don't know what I think. I was really scared of aliens when I was little. We had two scary books. We had a scary ghost book and a scary alien book. I can picture both of them so well that clearly they were, imprinted upon my soul. And they both had scary illustrations and scary photos. And I was fairly scared of those, but it was fiction that made me more scared. It was actually, of all things, Mars Attacks, which I didn't realize was funny when I was 9 because I hadn't seen enough 50s movies of the type that it was parodying. And the ones I had seen, I also thought were kind of scary. Mars Attacks was really scary, and, like, full disclosure, 15 years old when I saw Signs. Parents live by a cornfield. I have a pantry. The ending of that movie may be slightly ridiculous, but the atmosphere is kick-ass, and it was
That's
really
basically your house.
Yeah.
It was really scary. Never before or since have I made an audible shriek, like sound in a crowded theater. But the part in Signs where Joaquin Phoenix is watching the fake home video from Brazil of the children's birthday party, and then the alien comes from behind the bushes. I shrieked very loudly in the theater, and it was great. It was actually really fun. It was one of my best movie watching experiences because I think the entire theater was kind of into it, and it wasn't just me and my friends. It was actually a really good watching experience. The next 3 days, I basically was like, aliens are everywhere. Oh no!
Fire in the Sky did that to me.
I'm still
Fire in the
scared.
Sky scared
I can't. I can't watch that.
Yeah.
I don't think I can ever watch that.
That movie creeped the hell out of me when I saw it.
When you read the guy's actual account, what actually happened, he was lying. He just went out.
Yeah,
I think they that's comforting.
There was somebody in that group
to
it, but it was made up. I thought I might be mistaken, but that
movie is
a lot less scary.
I just heard that the scene of the abduction and stuff some stuff is just really scary. But I always assumed
and it's crazy flashbacks too.
I always assumed
there's this part where it's
scary.
floating around in the ship.
Communion has it has. I was too scared to read Communion, especially because my family members. I have too many family members that kind of think it's real, and that would sort of make it worse. But my sister made us watch Communion a couple of months ago, and there's a couple of sort of sickening atmospheric things that I associate with movies like The Mothman Prophecies, where it's cold flickering lights and menace done really well. And they're Communion initially with the UFO, it's unsettling, and eventually it's just Christopher Walken incessantly and these really 80s looking little blue dudes who are not scary.
Yeah, that's the only part of Communion I've seen was the aliens, and because I was scared to death.
But
they look so corny. It was
there's the regular kind of aliens, and then there's the dumbass looking blue guys, and then Christopher Walken is such a bizarre human, alleged human creature. I was like, well, this is not scary.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, and on a side note, as someone who came of age in the 90s and who remembers ads for Fox's airing of Alien Autopsy, which I don't think I ever watched because I was for years, I thought that the X-Files was way more subtle with aliens and that they rolled out the reality of them in that world much slower than they did because I was too goddamn scared to actually watch the ones directly about aliens. I was also too scared to watch the ones directly about ghosts. So for the life of me, I don't know what I was watching every Sunday night after The Simpsons, but I was watching something. So, I watched the incestuous Pennsylvania Family Murders Everyone episode, and the giant Chernobyl-made tapeworm guy one, which I'm pretty sure traumatized me for many years.
Oh, right, yeah.
Tombs.
That guy was creepy, yeah.
The one that was the big hit in my family was Tombs, the guy that ate livers and hibernated.
The squeezy guy. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good either.
Yeah, and then he can get in anywhere, so it's not.
Yeah, he can be anywhere.
It's different from your average aliens that have lights and that's.
And then that actor married the 15-year-old who might secretly be 40, so that's confusing. But that's a never mind. Don't Google that. It's not.
This up later. I'm gonna have to. Actor played Tombs, the striker guy.
Just don't fall into that rabbit hole of sadness.
Or Cape guy in real life. Is based on.
Oh God. Oh, but the tape. I was gonna rewatch all of the X-Files before the 10th season thing, and I technically rewatched the tapeworm guy episode, but I hid under the covers and shrieked repeatedly because it was so upsetting. And that's the last time. That's not no more. I'm putting that to rest for all eternity. But the 90s was pretty into aliens. I guess I don't find sort of the aliens that are in vogue lately is interesting because I generally think of ancient aliens taking over the History Channel type of bullshit. But I'm trying to think of how we can take it back a little ways because we haven't really started from any good old-fashioned alien foundations. But
I think the thing with the 90s and the aliens is it was like the 40th and 50th anniversary. A lot of the really important like UFO events,
The
like
Roswell incident.
so it was just sort of it's just floating around there, and then also it's like, well, we don't have Russians.
Finally, yeah, what the hell are we gonna do?
I chalk everything up to the Cold War because that's just
The 90s were weird though. I guess it was like we had a moment to turn inward and be weird as Americans. Like they were not, weren't doing the war on terror, weren't doing the Cold War. We had a couple of domestic terrorists. We sent feds after like weirdos in the woods and on various compounds. And we thought a lot about aliens and watched the X-Files every Sunday night. That was
that's definitely like the whole a lot of domestic terrorism that went after in the 90s is definitely like us. Like in absence of a bigger evil empire, these like weirdos in the woods decided, well, I guess I'll go bomb a federal building.
Yep.
Like we became maybe, I don't know. I am sure I'm on the list for saying that now.
I don't know the origin.
It's an interesting point that there's all things like that happen. I mean, especially, and then you look at stuff like Waco, and it's which is a terrible event, and not involving aliens, but
as far as we know.
But exactly. But you wonder how many groups are out there right now that that no one really cares about just because there's so much other stuff going on.
Oh, and like,
well, I think the 90s is also the internet, and so that sort of just like blossom a little bit more. All of a sudden, everybody's on the internet now. Here in 2017, we are all so jaded by that it doesn't have the same charge anymore. We're like, oh, there's cultists over there doing this weird thing.
Yeah, that really bumps me out.
Yeah.
As like a would-be writer of things, like when I realized that I read John Ronson's book Them. I don't know, 5 years ago, maybe for the first time. It's from the very early 2000s, and I think it took him like 5 years to write, so it kind of spans a bit. And obviously there was internet then, but we didn't have it wasn't social media, web 2.0, if we're still using that obnoxious term. And yeah, we weren't just like bombarded by bullshit. Alex Jones is in the Jonathan Ronson book, but like it was more fun, I feel like, back then, before it was sort of like ruining reality more. I don't know, like it seemed more interesting, like a more of an interesting project to go after and to write about these people with like a human touch. I mean, you can still do it, but I don't know. They seem more insistent now if you've read sort of the comments section in Bad Places, and it's not, the more of them, the less charming, unfortunately it is. Though I still enjoy.
Who wrote that? There was a piece about the Branch Davidians that was written in the last couple of years, and it might have been Malcolm Gladwell, and it was talking about like a biblical scholar who was talking to the Branch Davidians in Koresh in particular, and how like he had seen this other window solve that whole standoff. It was basically just like he's divinely inspired. He has to write this thing. He has to write this sort of, and then like God's done with him and we can do whatever we want. Just give him time to write it. And the FBI was more insistent about just keep going shooting everybody. And they didn't have any faith in the process of just letting this weirdo ramble about the Bible for
Oh yeah.
Malcolm Gladwell piece. And it was really good.
I bookmarked that. It was a New Yorker piece, and I can picture it. I don't know if it's the same religious guy that he talks to. That I read a book by him and another person, and their whole premise was basically, I mean, kind of regardless of like how cynical you felt about David Koresh or not, the thing to do was to indulge the religiosity. And they tried, I'm giving them way too much credit. They tried a little bit, and then they were like, we give up. Which, if you're in that position of power, it's your job to, be totally irritated for as many months as it takes to resolve it without, oops, everyone burned down. Like, that's your job, and you fucked up. So.
I think one of the the things I think that it's interesting in some ways about the UFO thing is it's sort of like in itself, like it relies a lot on faith, a lot of the stuff. Like these things are real too, that they're space aliens. 3, they have some sort of, and it's not just just even if they are spaceships, they're just randomly cruising past for whatever reason.
Just cruising. It's like
joyride. Like a lot of those same needs that with religion, it's like, okay, there's something else out there, and there's a plan. Which, hey, is to tie it back in. It's kind of also what a lot of people feel about the government. So
that they have a divine plan and
That's
are
true.
watching us daily.
I'm gonna go.
Great.
Some wine.
That's good.
Wrap that up.
Well, I'm going to enjoy Gitmo. Hopefully we'll have cells next to each other so we can continue this conversation. Okay, so
the walls aren't too
aliens, you guys. I'm going to tell you guys something. I don't think Roswell is very convincing at all.
Get out of
No, but I mean, there are other incidents that, like, it's just that nobody really made this the UFO thing until like the 1970s. It was basically a minor thing, and then a book or two appeared that said, holy shit, you won't believe the cover up and the detail here. And like for 30 years everyone was like, it just, like, people have this, it's sort of the elder statesman of UFO things, like the foundational thing, and it just, from what I've read about it, it doesn't impress me very much. Even though I totally want to go to Roswell and look at all this tacky tourist shit, like, really badly, I don't.
Oh, it's so great.
Yeah, I really want to go.
Interesting UFOs hitting waves, and like, I think that first one was in the late 40s with the Kenneth Arnold sighting. 50s, and then it sort of dies out a little bit, and then the 70s, like, things weird come back around. Astrology and ESP and UFOs, and
the more hippie, the hippie UFOs came in the 70s.
Yeah,
and then it dies out again a little bit and comes back in the 90s, and then
like most things, waves, I think. And I have this very handy book right here. I'm using this alien as a bookmark. But this is great. I bookmarked some key pages in this.
Nice.
UFO evidence.
The National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena, or NECAP, the UFO evidence, edited by Richard H. Hall. And I was looking at this lovely timeline of basically important stuff. And July 47, which is like exactly Roswell. It says the Air Force began investigating UFO reports after sightings by airline pilots, other qualified observers. It was called Project Sign and then Project Grudge, and then eventually that was Blue Book, and Blue Book was the one that lasted for a solid like 30 years. I believe it was the late 70s when they were like, okay, stop, we're done looking at this.
Stop it.
Stop calling.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But like, that's a good, the Air Force spent a really like solid while actually cataloging and looking into this stuff, assuming they weren't, doing a massive cover-up or something. Like, I think sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but it took me a while to find out that it wasn't just fictional, in that, these authority figures were actually like seriously like, okay, what is this? We're actually going to write down your crazy person phone call to the FBI, and we're going to see if we can explain, the flying hubcap you saw, and the green guy who waved at you, and we're gonna write it down. I don't know. It's like I'm not saying this is hidden history, but it's like I don't know. I'm trying to describe.
To me, it's interesting in the same way that like astrology is interesting, or that some
In
of
that
the,
it
you know,
isn't.
some of the weirder occult, some of the weirder occult stuff is it's like I don't find it interesting in and of itself. I find it interesting because people who have a lot of power think there's something to it. You know, I really don't care about like Dawn or whatever. I don't. Who knows what they're doing? The fact that there was like so many like, people with positions of power that were interested in it and were keeping their eyes on it. Interesting, like well, if they're into it, then there's something I should be paying attention to, not specifically because I believe in it, but just influence the things that they are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
like Reagan, like Reagan supposedly like arranged a schedule around.
Didn't Carter actually supposedly see a UFO? I'm not sure if he was in office or if it was before or after.
Carter's reported a UFO and he talked about it. But Carter in UFO, sort of the UFO is the guy, is like a devout small town like Baptist guy in the South, and supposedly he's the one that when like they took him in the room after the inauguration and gave him the briefing and told him like he's the one who was like had his head in his hands just like crying because like he finally found out the truth of what UFOs were and like everything he believed in.
UFOs are not real. What you saw was a weather balloon.
Yeah, the aliens are real, but God isn't, or something, whatever it is.
The government knows is the answer. I don't think they. Isn't it also Clinton claims he asked like immediately, right? Which is like the only thing I've ever.
Yeah,
Clinton,
Hillary.
really.
Him and Hillary both have weird UFO.
Well, I mean, I would ask about everything immediately, except then I'd be waiting for Lee Harvey Oswald the sequel to show up. And that's one reason I won't be elected president is because I'm much too paranoid to be president.
The one thing I think Independence Day really gets right is when the slimy CIA guy is like, Mr. President, we can't tell you that UFOs are real because there has to be plausible deniability.
I love that movie. I apologize for nothing.
Oh, I didn't see that. Everybody was hating on it, but.
Wait, the sequel? Or the original? You have to see the original. It's a bona fide.
Oh, the original I've seen, yeah.
Classic, non-classic.
Yeah.
Well, the sequel's good. I don't care what anybody says. The sequel's good.
The sequel was a tragedy. No, it could have been something. Like there was actually room for a progression in the storyline. Like I love this. I actually love the idea of Earth dealing with the aftermath of an alien invasion that has been thwarted, and then the fears. Yeah. Like the aforementioned Signs I loved, but at the end of Signs, Mel Gibson's character is putting his collar back on and he hears his kids laughing and like everything's fine now and no one has crippling PTSD from the fucking alien invasion. Really? I once wrote a really shitty short story where someone's in therapy after an alien invasion. And it was not good, but yeah.
Bill Pullman was a wreck because of the alien war.
Yeah. Things like that could have been legit, but then they were like, here's a bland fighter squadron, and here is a woman who absolutely exists so this movie can sell in China, and just boring as shit.
Well, I think that pro-army ads kind of turned me off, too.
Oh, that was repulsive. That made me feel so dirty paying for that movie. Yeah.
They could have done thing with Independence Day 2, but instead they took like the boldest move and said like instead of just like an invasion, we're going to use this to pivot like the space opera thing. So it's how you have like people in like starfighters, and there's like a kaiju fight at the end, and they're like, oh no, we're all going to this other planet to train their army, and then we're going on like interstellar jihad.
I know, and like it's gonna fucking turn into Starship Troopers too, the movie.
It's gonna be more fun than Starship Troopers. Even though like the thing with Independence Day 2 is like they have like now has a military government, but marked on. It's like yeah, no, of course they do in this time. So
it's like, we got attacked by aliens, of course.
We have a militaristic world government now. It's cool.
It's cool now, yeah. There's a moon base and shit. Like, don't even worry about it. Yeah, I mean, I fear that, like, obviously the technology advancing in 20 years is too fast. There's a bunch of ridiculous shit. It's Roland Emmerich. As soon as the trailers for that movie actually looked good, I actually paradoxically was like, I know this sucks because it's Roland Emmerich. And he can't be good. He can only provide Independence Day 1 levels of quality, which is we have, models and exploding White Houses and a certain amount of charisma that carries the like nonsense of this. And he can do no better than that. So when it actually looked like a good movie, I was like, I know this can never be. And it wasn't. It was dumb. But
well, that's a tragedy.
It's the real tragedy. There's the alien thing. It's just like it's just a part of America, and obviously it's a part of other countries as well. I recently read a book that professed to explain the Russian word, the pass incident. Where the 9 Soviet college students were mysteriously killed.
Oh yeah, that Layev or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not Russian. My Russian is niet.
Are you sure?
If Louise is listening, then I double pinky swear.
I hope she's not listening. That would present further
Russian
problems.
All the way, baby.
And there's like it's one of those things that if you read about it late at night initially you're like, oh my god, it was aliens, or at the very like, or it was some sort of Soviet like death ray gone wrong or some shit. And the explanation that the guy came to was, it feels like a stretch, but he kind of covered his bases more than anyone else I think has, which is basically that there is this auditory phenomenon that can make people feel really freaked out, and people have suggested that's an explanation for supposed ghost incidents sometimes as well. Basically, certain frequencies can make humans feel scared and anxious, kind of paranoid and things like that. And basically the placement of the students, these are all incredibly experienced hikers, and they were found, their bodies were found without their boots on and stuff, where like they had cut out of the tent in order to escape. Like really, every macabre detail.
And like their clothes are shredded or they were nude.
Right, exactly. Like okay, aliens cut out their tongues. Just like ridiculous shit. And it's probably like animals ate their tongues. All this. But like there was still the fundamental need to explain why really experienced hikers like ran out of their tents without their boots on in the middle of the night, which is eerie enough to give you pause. But it basically, it sounds like the Dead Mountain, that's the chipper name of the mountain that was nearby. That the author of this book talked to a atmospheric dude who was like, yeah, basically the mountain placement, it's perfect. It has this flat topic, totally could have caused this auditory thing that would freak you out, and nobody knew about that in 1959, and basically nobody could give a better explanation for this, so it probably wasn't aliens. And the Soviet government probably covered it up because they were a dumbass, powerful government whose initial response to anything mysterious was, holy shit, cover that up and don't talk about it. So I'm satisfied.
Well, there's like that's what originally refers to as like the weird feeling you get in the woods by yourself. Like it's supposed to be like the god Pan.
Oh, I forgot about Pan.
Yeah, so that's where that's what where panic is, like that this weird
We're going into the etymology here now, right? It's fair enough.
You go to in the woods because you're alone. It's just,
well, I don't know. Nine of them, 9 experienced Soviet hikers. Their job was to be good, fit communists and go hiking, and so the fact that they died was a little weird. But
yeah,
I don't know. I used to like be I used to be looking for evidence that aliens weren't real, because now I'm a little more on the side of looking for evidence that they are real, but still a little bit afraid to delve too deeply. A little too afraid to watch Fire in the Sky, for example. I don't know.
Well, that story is probably total crap, so you're safe watching that one.
Yeah, but I mean that's the magic of fiction.
It might still scare you though.
Yeah, I mean like
scary.
I love things. There's all sorts of dumbass things where I don't believe it, but my spine is like, holy shit, and crinkles wildly. And as I try to sleep at night, I'm not super relaxed.
Yeah.
It's not about.
There's that
one
kind
of storytelling. It like gets in your head and it messes with you even.
What does it for
I'm
me?
constantly searching movies like that or like fiction like that. It just like gets in your head and won't leave.
Yep.
There's that one scene in Fire in the Sky where he's like floating around the ship, like he got loose somehow. All the old basketballs and glasses and clothes from like the just hundreds and thousands of people they've been abducting over the years, and he like breaks into like one of those little cells and finds like half. They're just like abducting people and just leaving them in these little things to die. And,
Oh, so basically, like we're lab rats. I mean, that's always a fun, sort of compromise. Still, sort of human-ish motivations, but like, they're not coming down because like they're like laughing maniacally about causing pain. They're like, oh, look at this creature, poke, dissect, leave in cage to die. I mean, we do that too, so maybe they would never do that, but or the War of the Worlds thing, where it's obviously H.G. Wells was in the Anti-Imperialist League, and obviously there was some poking pointed points in that, but that's also, it doesn't matter if I guess they're malevolent. If they come down and start messing with us, we're in trouble either way, I think.
And from like a narrative standpoint, where like if you have a movie about aliens, the aliens have to have something like recognizable intentions. But that, to me, that's also like the worst part of alien movies. It's like we have no idea why they would be here. We have no ability to understand what they're even doing. It's like, all they here to stick needles in your dick and trillion eyeballs or whatever. Like,
or so forehead ridges or pointed ears, like the wildest things you can possibly imagine. Thank you, Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
for Gene Roddenberry, it was like, listen, space aliens, they gotta have boobs.
Yeah. Obviously.
Gene Roddenberry, he was.
Hey man, he tried in the first pilot of the first Star Trek. He tried to have a second in command lady who wore pants, and the networks were like, "Whoa, listen,
whoa, buddy."
If you're trying to tell us that in 300 years women will not wear miniskirts in space, like, just get the fuck out of here, Gene. Come back here.
That's funny.
Sexy ladies in space miniskirts, and then we can reevaluate this show.
Women in pants,
ladies, pants in positions of power. My
go
God.
Boots and miniskirt.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, go boots and miniskirts is somehow less racy than women in pants. That's.
Well, no, she was second in command. Like you can't do that in like 1967. That's
no, you can't.
That's crazy talk. Yeah. Oh, aliens, so crazy. Yeah, even some of the I feel like the most out there alien thing I've read recently was an Octavia Butler book. And these aliens, they're still trying to kind of save us. I think basically we totally fucked up the world, and they basically gathered some people and kept them in cold storage for a while until they were ready to chat and talk about like going back down to Earth and getting our shit together. And like the aliens are portrayed as terrifying most, like, everybody at first glance and stuff, but you know, and they're less humanoid than something Gene Roddenberry would invent, but they're still, you know, they have tentacles. Like, they're not, even in this book that tries really hard to be more out there and have, like, and they're like 3 parents in their sexual alien behavior, and it's all, one of them is like neuter, and it's, whoa, it's totally out there, and they're still like, it's still pretty damn humanoid at the end of the day. I don't know. They still want to help us in a way that seems humanoid. Ooh, and God, now I want to talk about childhood's end. Again, what the hell, Arthur C. Clarke.
I've forgotten they just did like a big sci-fi miniseries of it, and I just totally did not watch it.
I would like to watch it.
Yeah,
you guys know? Do you know? Have you read it?
I've not read it, but I'm familiar with it. I'm pretty familiar with the way the plot works, and I've just.
I mean, I assume the ending is supposed to be disturbing. It's not supposed to be, like, encouraging. And that's more alien, what happens at the end of that, but it's still, I don't know. I think Clarke, from what I've read, sort of does the hand wavy, and then everything was so alien we couldn't even comprehend it sort of thing, which is more alien, but also sort of like a shrug.
Yeah, but he never quite played it for like the horror.
Right, yeah.
I'd be like, I understand this, but I'm a reasonable scientist, whatever. It's like, be like, I don't understand this. It's so alien to me that I'm losing my.
Yeah.
And a big criticism of Arthur C. Clarke.
I do love, actually, Childhood's End, I kind of blew my mind, but in like a way that I'm still not sure how much I liked it. But his book Rendezvous with Rama, I actually really, really liked and found kind of optimistic, because it's basically humans are pretty advanced and we live on a couple of planets, and this big ass ship is, you know, shows up on the edge of the solar system, and captain and his crew go out to check it out. And there's a bunch of weird shit in there, and there are no obvious sort of entities. There's like sort of robot animal things, and it's weird and confusing, and it's never explained. But there's a point when the dudes who live on Mercury, who are all like hot-headed, and the jerks live on Mercury, basically, I guess, or like they're like, we're gonna blow it up in case it's coming towards us, and the captain, our main character guy, is like sabotages it because he takes a chance on the mysterious universe and says, I don't know what the hell's in this ship, and this could be a terrible idea, but I'm not going to be the one who like blows up the mysterious thing because I'm scared it's going to get me when there's no evidence to suggest that. And that, in like a mysterious ass way, is very optimistic, and I actually really like that book. And I'm sorry for spoiling it.
Yeah.
And hopefully you forget about it if you haven't read it.
I like that. It's like a trope of science fiction. I've always liked it. Like, one planet are generally going to have the same temperament. Like, oh, Mercury, fire planet.
That's where the jerks live. Yeah, we put all the jerks on Mercury.
They're going to be a little
We're like Jerkury. Sorry.
That's a gas planet.
But no, that is weird. Yeah, that's kind of a thing.
Can you even say that about like that down to like continents? Like, what is the North American like?
We're also the jerks.
Arthur C. Clarke, yeah. Yeah, I mean the jerks.
In some ways, we're the jerks. Well, we're the crass. We're the rude people, and
we're the new money. We're the nouveau riche.
Yeah, exactly, and hence the president of the United States. I mean, that adds a little credibility to that cliche, just a bit. And Canada is our pleasant hat that is like too polite to even be very embarrassed by us. And England is our fancy mother.
I always like the things like Canada's less racist than in the U.S. Like,
no, they're just more polite, really.
Yeah, no, they just do it in a way that's different.
Yeah, it's different. It's not any better. It's just different.
It's different, yeah.
Lynchings,
they're not as crass about it, yeah.
Yeah. You know, they say A when they're being racist, and then they have some poutine, and it's very charming. The Canadians are going to get mad at us for this podcast. They're going to come after us.
Oh, they are.
How would we tell?
Yeah. There's some great Kate Beaton comics about the Canadians, like, finally being angry and coming to the White House, I think. And someone's like, "Sir, the Canadians here, and they're very angry." And the president goes out and is like, "Thanks for coming today." And then the Canadians are like, "Oh, thank you." Like, they basically, he's polite to them, and then they can't be mad anymore. I don't know. Kate Beaton's pretty good, except when she makes jokes about Canadian history that I never learned, because Canada doesn't matter. I'm just kidding, Canada. I love you, Canada, I promise.
Poor Canada.
Maple and weird flavored potato chips and having an accent that doesn't make sense. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
They probably have
They have really
in
good
Canada.
maple tea, and they have nice parks. I know that.
Yeah, maple is delicious, actually. I think we should put on things here in America.
Yeah.
So we didn't.
The surprising part about it, Canada is like, wait, you actually do put maple in lots of things, like.
Oh yeah, maple.
That's like if we ate eagles on like it was like all the time. That was like our
That's
best
not.
meal.
That's not exactly the same as eating eagles.
It's on their flag.
I know it is. I never thought of that. Maybe we should eat eagles.
Wait, did they not eat maple? Did they just store it and
and like like salute it every morning? I don't know what Canada does. God damn it! But maple is delicious. I'm very angry about fake maple syrup. Okay, so we haven't. See, this is the good thing about aliens is that we're never gonna run out of alien topics. You know, we didn't really cover. And we can do this the next time aliens come around. Some of the more substantial governmental alien stuff. I'm still struck by the fact that the Air Force was really serious about this. But the thing is, now obviously there's the airships craze that was like the 1880s, 1890s. And I'm not sure the origin of that. I guess, hot air balloons were invented before that, but they were pretty bold and experimental. I'm not sure what people think the prosaic explanation for the airship sighting phenomenon actually is, but when it comes to the classic UFO shape, well, it goes pretty neatly with the Cold War, almost completely. So it's really hard for me to be super credulous when it basically lines up perfectly with the Cold War. Kind of takes the wind out of the sails a little bit. But you assume that the Air Force was thinking, what are these damn Soviets up to when they were looking into this most of the time? Or at least that was the fear. Probably not that it was actual aliens. But then,
well, there's that. Around the same time as the thing in the 19th century, there's this town in Texas supposedly an alien died in and is buried in a graveyard.
Yeah. I definitely heard about that. I don't know where I was reading about that. It's like, is his grave marked? Like, can we dig him up? I don't mean to be rude or anything, but I would like to investigate this further.
We want to know.
Yeah, we want the truth.
And the towns all over, they also refuse to like exhume the body, which is weird to me.
Yeah, they don't.
It's not weird.
Of course they did. You know why?
Because it's real, really, but they were paid off by the government.
Yes, exactly.
But back then, the government was like dudes and like who wore wool suits and
most damning,
owners, and they're like, here's a bushel of tobacco. Do not tell anybody. I
really enjoy your impression of the government of old. It's good. I like that.
That's great. 3 dudes in wool suits.
Yeah, just hush now. Don't say a word about the man from the stars. Every time it's before now, it's actually just the 1940s when you're doing an impression. That's the rule about that. I don't have a
the
smooth.
90s and then the 1940s, basically.
Yeah, that's
right.
actually that's
nothing
true.
nothing in between.
There's nothing in between. I have to tell you guys something important. I don't have a good segue because we accidentally skipped to the 1890s. But in my yellow book here that I got at half price books for $9.99. It was a good day. So the National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena, NECAP, UFO evidence. Okay, so here's a little story. In 1963, a NECAP member posed a hypothetical question, really, to the U.S. Department of Justice. If a human being killed a spaceman in a moment of panic and fear, would this be murder? Or could the person defend his action on the legal ground that he had not committed homicide since the being was not human? This ties in well to the killing Bigfoot debates and like when it's justifiable self-defense. And it says, on July 11th, Assistant Attorney General Norbert A. Schlee replied, as a matter of information, it does not seem likely that present criminal laws against homicide would play a primary role in restraining attacks by excited citizens if the situation you describe were to arise. Since criminal laws are usually construed strictly, it is doubtful that laws against homicide would apply to the killing of intelligent man-like creatures alien to this planet, unless such creatures were members of the human species. So again, if they're humanoid, like Gene Roddenberry creations, and they're like clearly just us with like forehead ridges, like does that count? Where they're killing these creatures would violate other criminal laws, for instance, the laws against cruelty to animals, this was mentioned before by one of you, or disorderly conduct. That kills me, by the way. Disorderly conduct would ordinarily depend on the law of the particular state in which the killing occurred. Until it is clear what problems of safety, health, or commerce such creatures might bring, there is little basis for describing the kinds of laws which might prove appropriate. I really love that this was answered. I appreciate that. The idea that it would be disorderly conduct to kill an alien, I find absolutely amazing, because I always used to joke that disorderly conduct was basically that and conspiracy are anything, just anything. Like you're pissing off the government, it's disorderly conduct or conspiracy because you told like your friend about it. And who knew disorderly conduct could apply to killing a poor innocent space alien? The poor guy. So basically, the government, like this, we've been thinking about this. Like this has been seriously
I think
considered.
at the time, I think at the time it's like, hey, I killed an alien, and I'm like, well, I don't know, but it's an alien. Listen up, son. Was he red? Alien red? like.
It almost makes sense in a way too, because I mean, even if you think I am unlike everyone on Twitter, but when you think about so many laws, they pertain to people or to like animals or whatever. But yeah, when you throw in this extraterrestrial element,
I mean,
like,
if they're clearly,
like how do you
if they're clearly intelligent, I mean, if they come here in a spaceship, there's something intelligent going on. And even, like, what if it was like the equivalent of one of the greater apes or something? Even that disorderly conduct is insulting, Like, there's a...
Yeah, definitely.
I think
there's that theory that the aliens...
Yeah,
that the aliens people see, like, they get abducted by, that they're not really aliens or biological drones.
Ooh.
Space travel is so difficult and so far apart that they're not like the actual aliens aren't in the ship. They're just sending these drones to do their work.
It didn't occur to me that the aliens themselves would be drones. I've thought of the fairly credible, relatively speaking, idea that UFOs are themselves unmanned, so to speak, drones. But the idea that the extraterrestrials themselves are maybe they're cyborgs or robots or something. It's true.
You hear that theory a lot, that they're either that the actual, like, the gray aliens, they're either like drones, like the equivalent of like bloodhounds that you would use to
oh this is getting kind of poetic and creepy. I like it.
Yeah.
So killing one would line up more with animal cruelty in that case.
Yeah.
So it's like it's an alien's dog. It doesn't even matter. It's like whatever. I'll buy another one.
I see how it is.
I'll buy me.
Wow. We're gonna no-knock rain on the alien's door. Fucked up, sir. I don't know, but Bloodhound and Aliens is giving me like a unsettled feeling in my spine again. Did you guys
it's interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
There's a really short story, and I'm blanking on the author, where it's just these alien creatures talking about how, I don't know, they're scanning or in communication with this other ship or planet, and the one is trying to convince the other that like that these entities that they're communicating with or have noticed are they're made of meat. And the other alien's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, meat doesn't talk or like have radio waves. Like, what the hell are you talking about? The other was like, no, I'm serious. Like our computer's working fine. Like, they're meat. The meat is communicating. Like, I don't understand this, but it's what's happening. It's like it's a really good premise. It's really short. It's just like this conversation between the two aliens. Yeah, it's good. It might just be called Meat or something. I forgot. It's worth reading though. I've done a lot of spoilers today, I feel like, which is, I apologize for that.
I feel like I've read, so I can repeat the facts about these books and pretend I've read them.
Yeah, well,
so
apparently that's more common in society. Like, I always admit the embarrassing like holes in my literature, like my bibliography of life. It seems really stressful to lie about having read something, but supposedly, according to surveys, people do that all the time.
Yeah, they do. They're all liars.
I can't even read. Always meant to learn. Plum forgot. Well,
puts you on an equal footing for president.
Hey, you can read, okay?
Maybe.
Yeah, like 5 books.
Well,
if he wanted to. He just doesn't want to.
Trump is like the ideal like person of our time because he can't read. He just why would you?
I don't know.
Somebody could just tell me this. I could watch it on TV. Like, why would I read?
Yeah, but like the sneaky, like the evil eggheads have not served America well either. I think it's almost the same thing in the end. Especially when the dumbass who doesn't read has plenty of evil eggheads work like standing next to him. So it really does sort of.
How many of our evil eggheads on both sides of the aisle basically belong to the same like weird cult?
It's the Skull and Bones, isn't it? I just watched the movie The Skulls. I know how it works in these secret societies. Yeah. That was a documentary.
You guys are all friends.
Everyone's friends with Kissinger and like, you know, like
why
thinks about things.
He's
like, why is that not a cult?
I mean, just of old age. Like, why?
Yeah. He's 90-something years old. Theoretically, it's got to be any day now, right?
Well, I mean, I want my grandma's 99, and I really want Kissinger to go first. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm
not going to do anything about it. Federal authorities. Yeah. I'm just laying it out there.
It's just, you know, people of a certain age standpoint.
I'm just kidding. We're not kidding. We're not. No. We just don't like him. That's all. There's no. Federal authorities don't. No.
We're just saying there's an age in which.
I'm just gonna be neurotic with my grandmother.
Okay, guys,
she's really old.
You think Popat will defend us in court? That's the question I have now.
Yeah, well,
it's a free speech-ish thing, right? Come on.
We're gonna again Gitmo. It'll be fun. We can hang out in Cuba. There'll be good beaches there. I have no idea how long we have run on this podcast. We could have been talking about this for our whole lives. We could be in some sort of suspended animation talking of aliens.
There's so much. We've been talking about this for about an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay, well that's pretty bad, but also good.
Pretty bad,
but also good.
Yeah, I don't know. My brother's. This is very meta. Should we talk about this
thing hanging behind your head?
Oh.
It looks like a mobile. It's very. Yeah, I like it. It's very.
Carrie made it, and I love it. She's always wondering if she should take it down, but I love it. It's like I'm not a big fan of dream catchers usually, but
maybe it'll catch the alien.
I didn't want to go straight to Dreamcatcher. I wasn't. No, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
does it have any powers? Does it like ward off aliens or evil spirits or anything?
It
both,
probably
actually.
Does. Yeah.
How could it not? I mean,
In theory, evil spirits and aliens have both steered clear of us so far.
So it all comes back to the Simpsons
So I
thing
assume it's working.
with the rock that keeps bears away, or I forget what it is.
Yeah.
Lisa's trying to explain like that the rock keeps bears away because you don't see any bears, and Homer's like, I'd like to buy your rock, Lisa. So yeah, that's
exactly. It's just like that.
yeah. No, I think yours probably works. There's a lot of alien stuff, and we didn't really come. I mean, there's too much to delve into, and maybe next time we'll be more organized in our alien-related concerns.
We have to be organized, but we can just talk about aliens some more.
Right? No, yeah.
Aliens are. It's so unknowable. We don't even know if they exist or not. So we're just like making conjectures about conjectures.
Oh yeah, but Bigfoot,
which
you're
is fun.
full
I'm
of
enjoying
certainty about Bigfoot. You're absolutely like you have nothing vague. You're very definite about Bigfoot. But
I did not come to be mocked.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
I mean, there's more alien and government sort of intersection that I think we can explore a few episodes from now. I don't know what I wrote down for a schedule. I might have written down the Mothman because I love the Mothman, but we'll check the schedule, and the humans who actually listen to this should tune into that as well. We didn't really cover any country music.
We should do that real quick.
We should always do that. I agree. You guys have something to share with the class on that subject?
I don't know. I haven't really delved into anything new lately since we last spoke.
Gotta get on that.
I'm a big fat country music not listening.
Wow, that's
it's like a period because I just got the records I was really excited about, and I'm on some records I'm really excited about are coming out like in the next couple of weeks. So I'm in a weird in between spot.
So you're waiting on stuff. Waiting on stuff is good.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the new John Bauman record, which is going to be cool. I'm really excited about that. I'm waiting for the new Justin Townes Earl, which I think is coming out.
That's like tomorrow, I think, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow as of this podcast.
Cool. I am listening to Wild Reads a lot, which is maybe like 3 or 4 weeks old now.
Where do you say the Wild
Reads?
What was that?
But the record's good.
Yeah, I saw
Reads?
them open for. I saw them play with. I think it was with Langhorne Slim in Austin at one point.
Yeah, their new record's very like Rilo, like if you like Rilo Kiley. It's not super country, but like if you like Execution of All Things, Rilo Kiley. It's
cool.
Three of the vocalists, they have 3 vocalists,
awesome.
and they're women, and so they get these really great like harmonies, which is really cool.
I like a lot of I remember them having a lot of interesting instrumentation. Especially for a touring band, they had just tons of. I think they had a harmonium and an auto harp and various things.
That's fun.
I might be making that up, so if they ever listen to this.
Zach is my go-to person for instruments that are not your usual. He knows all the cool ones.
I love weird instruments.
They can.
Did you ever have a bouzouki or an octave mandolin, Zach?
Yeah, I have an octave mandolin. Actually, this a guy.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, it's a mandolin, but it's an octave deeper, and it's
okay.
Steve Roll has played him before, so you've probably seen
they're big.
him play one. But a guy, I went to Joshua Tree. Carrie took me out there one year for my birthday, and we stayed in the room where Graham Parsons died, which was very cool and very creepy. But I met a guy out there who did woodworking, and he made basses and mandolins, and I asked him to make me an octave mandolin. So
nice.
Eventually, I had this, and that's one of the few instruments I have with me in the camper.
Oh, good.
Nice. But, awesome.
Yeah.
We should have broken it out and played us your song about aliens.
Oh yeah.
Because you do have your alien song, and that's something that at the very least we should be attaching to the beginning of this podcast intro. That'll probably be your job as the
All right. Yeah.
technical with on the topic of country music.
I'll do that.
I'm behind you. You better do that. I'm behind on my Justin Townes Earl. I love him. I also feel like he went a little Ryan Adams with the sort of like too many albums thing, kind of diluting your quality thing. I think he's a really talented dude. He was nice the one time I talked to him, so I'm all for that. And I will catch up on. I'll catch up on his music at some point, but I'm a little behind on it. I also the Old Crow cover album of Blonde on Blonde.
Is that out already?
Yeah, I bought it today, and I haven't really listened to it because Blonde on Blonde I'm very mixed on. I feel like we covered Dylan last time, but I forgot that it contains leopard skin pillbox hat, which I really enjoy and associate with my mother in like a very fond way because she thinks that song is like amazing and hilarious. But it also has Just Like a Woman, which I honestly think is my least favorite popular Dylan song of all time. So it's going to be an interesting listening experience, I think, because that's...
Yeah, neither of those are very great. There's a great version of Just Like...
Obviously, Five Believers.
Yeah. I want to hear Sad Lady of the Lowlands because that's a great song.
I mean, there's so many...
very long.
But, like, my favorite Dylan songs, it's literally like the demo of When I Paint My Masterpiece, and then, like, the fucking song from Wonder Boys, and, like, I'm, like, the worst at picking Dylan songs. I shouldn't even be allowed to speak.
Oh.
And I'm like, and I still really like Masters of War. I don't even give a shit about Dylan if it makes you uncomfortable with its awkward 60s earnestness. But I like, you know...
Well, he still plays it all the time.
Is it really? Okay, well, that's good then.
Yeah.
Maybe he hasn't done that. But it's literally like, I hope that you die. Like, it's like the peace song where he's like, I hope you die. And I just love that. That's good stuff.
It's great. But, I mean, whatever Dylan reaches out to you, don't feel bad.
It touches my
don't
heart.
apologize.
Yeah. No, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And
I can't speak for the man, but...
The other country music news that I have is that I was listening to one of those Spotify Think She'll Like This Shit sort of mixes. And a lot of it was just stuff that I listened to before, but it was like they were obviously doing it sort of genre-ish. And they had the audacity to put Hank Williams Jr. on it, and I really lost faith in Spotify for a minute there.
Oh, no.
I was like, God,
Every time I've ever heard a song that seemed too dumb to be real, it was like Junior.
I mean, it's not just that he's like an annoying sort of generic Republican who once sang a song about Monday Night Football, but like that dude's voice is really just underwhelming. And his dad's voice was so good, and it's just he's so blah compared to him. And like I watched a shitty movie about him. I'm sorry his mom was creepy and tried to turn him into his dad, and then he had like face-altering motorcycle crash, or Bob Dylan also did, but whatever that was. Like, I'm sorry for your troubles, Hank Williams Jr., but like, it's just just not doing it for me.
The neighbor that had a shirt, like this guy, he was from Tennessee, and he was just like full like Southern dude, like Confederate flags, and like drank just like tons of Jack Daniels and stuff. But he had this like Hank Jr. tour T-shirt that he had at one of his shows, and it was like Civil War lithograph, like our Southern heroes, and it was like all the Southern generals, and then Hank Jr. was in there with them,
just hanging out, hanging out with Robert E. Lee,
Stonewall Jackson, Robert E. Lee, and Beauregard, and then there's like.
I want to go to a Civil War battlefield and just install like a statue of Hank Williams Jr. and see if anyone notices that it does not belong there. Just having like a tribute.
Sounds like you're trying to fill Jeff Sessions' old seat in Alabama.
Hey, that's the meanest thing you've ever said to me. No, just like a Banksy style thing where you add something to a memorial and see how long it takes for somebody to notice that it's not supposed to be there. Just put Hank Williams Jr. in there.
Yeah.
There's the answer is just get a hammer and chisel and just go to all the Civil War monuments and just
just
like participation trophy, like on all of them, and then watch them disappear like within like weeks.
I do love that. I think that kind of works. Some people were being pedantic and objecting, but I think that's pretty funny actually. Participation trophy. It's pretty good. Now I'm thinking about the Two-Man Gentleman Band, who are an enjoyable band, and they have a song about Stonewall Jackson and his lack of an arm. It's a good song.
I've been to the place for Stonewall Jackson's arm. I've been to both his graves. He has one for his arm and one for the rest of him.
I've heard that, yeah.
Huh.
I've seen them both.
When
one for his grave, it's just like this like farm thing. It's just like this little building that was just like the office for the farm, and it's just like out in the middle of nowhere, and there's a tree, and they're like, his arm is buried over there.
That's awkward.
Poor like, the last thing he said was, now I'm going to cross the river. And then it's like,
oh, man.
So it's so weird.
When we, at some point we'll have to do a ghost topic, and I can regale my thrilling tale of how I went to Gettysburg, and my friend is really into ghost tours. And we went on a ghost tour, but it, like, the person giving it had like a huge Yinzer accent, and I can say that because Pittsburgh's like 5 miles that way. But I was like, this is not atmospheric. And then the next day I was walking Pickett's Charge, and I smelled cigar smoke, and I was like, holy shit, a ghost is here. And it was a guy smoking a cigar. So, which is the most logical explanation. No, it was. He was right behind me. He was like 7 feet behind me. But I love that my initial thought was like, oh shit, a ghost! Finally, it's happening. No, it's an actual man with a cigar. It's not a ghost cigar.
Or was it?
Well, I guess we'll have to wait until next time to find out when I present the shocking evidence of how that happened. Oh man, we have gone way overboard, but y'all are fun, and aliens are almost
this is a good time.
So I'm going to wrap it up, I guess, and maybe next time we'll be more organized. Maybe next time we'll have more aliens or Mothmen, or maybe the government will get us before we can even have a third show. But it has been excellent as always. Thank you.
It's been fun.
You both,
everybody,
for letting me spoil various sci-fi books for you guys. Seth and Nomad Zach. I will see you next time, and Zach, you better attach that alien song to this broadcast. We're gonna need it. You should edit it so it fades like we fade out to the sounds of it right now. It better be happening. It's gotta.
I'll do it.
Good. All right.
Perfect.
See you guys later.